About the fall of Atlantis, some people will say that Atlantis sank because of asteroids. Other people will say, no, it wasn't asteroids, it was earthquakes. But other people will say it wasn't neither of these, but it was big waves, huge tsunamis. But what if these are just point of views of memories of these people in their past lives? It doesn't mean someone is lying in these three types of, channeling. Maybe these people are just seeing something that happened directly to them. Imagine. I will say this because I have memories about the sink of Atlantis too, the lost continent. So I remember something happened. I'm not going to talk about that part now because it'll take too long. But something happened in Atlantis. And then it was so low vibration that, it attracted a lot of asteroids. Pay attention because you won't understand these points of view of all these people, okay? So he attracted these asteroids, and then the asteroids came and they broke, and then they fall over Atlantis in several places. So some people saw those asteroids and they die, immediately because they were, exploded with it. I shouldn't have that. It's a very sad story, sorry. But other people were inside some places, inside their homes, inside houses, buildings, and they didn't see it. So they heard a huge explosion, the ground began shaking, so they saw the ground opening and they died there. So they just saw the earthquakes, and those people just saw the asteroids because they died before seeing anything else. The asteroids, they didn't fall over all Atlantis. It was some part of it. And these asteroids, after they fall, of course, they were destroyed. It was a very huge asteroid, so it destroyed a lot of part of Atlantis. So it caused a little, no, maybe not a little, but an earthquake. It was opening the continent because it was too strong, because the low vibration of the people there was very, very low. So it broke the continent, like the Titanic, it broke, and then the continent began to sink. There are people who just saw this part. They didn't saw the asteroids because it was fast, so the asteroids fallen. It was that fast. Some people didn't saw it completely. And these asteroids, they fell also into the ocean. It made big waves. Do you remember that movie? What is the name of that movie? I forgot the name of the movie, but there is this movie on a huge asteroids coming to the ocean with that actor Elijah Wood, fell into the ocean and then created a huge tsunami, and it, how do you say inundou? I don't remember the words. I will say it watered everything. So, and a lot of people just saw the huge waves. Why? You can imagine, sometimes people imagine that Atlantis was a very small island, but Atlantis was a continent, a huge continent. We don't know exactly the size of it, but it wasn't that small. So some people who lived in this side of the continent couldn't see what was happening the other side. So it wasn't a small island. So it was a continent. It was a little big. I don't know exactly the size because I didn't measure it when I lived there. But so this may seem like how people didn't saw it, because sometimes things happen too fast. It's a little distant, so people who are in this side of the continent, they didn't see what was happening on the other side. But how can a continent so big sink completely? Because the low vibration of the place, of the people, it was very low, as I said it before. It was very, very low, And they had this huge pyramid. Well, the triangle thing. They have this crystal pyramid. And it was very strong and full of power because it could, make a lot of things that I want. It's too lot to talk about this here. But it contains a lot of power. It contained a lot of power, and it was too much power that spread all over the continent. And it sank because it needed to be sank, because people were so low vibrational. They were doing so horrible things that they attracted the asteroid. So the asteroid fell. What I'm telling you this, I'm not telling you this for you to know, oh, how Atlantis sank. No, I'm telling you this because I want you to understand point of views. And I want you to understand that sometimes people channel what they saw, what they lived. They saw just the tsunamis, some people just saw the asteroids, some people just saw the earthquakes because they died too fast. Or sometimes the next is just a little part of what happened that make them, like, oh my gosh, I saw those big waves in front of me, so it was too strong. It was a memory full of emotion. They saw the asteroids, but what mostly caught their attention was the big waves. So I'm telling you this because sometimes you probably have seen this and read this on the internet, like, oh, some people say, no, Atlantis sank by asteroids. No, it was an earthquake. No, it was big waves. People always say, no, this is not true. This is true. But sometimes everything is true. We just need to connect those pieces like the puzzle. Because you can say Atlantis, it was just that. Because can you say this about, the place you live? The place you live right now doesn't exist for just, 20 years. It exists for thousands of years, so it has a lot of history. So that's the thing about point of views, and that's the thing that it's not about a bad channeling. Oh, I think these people is telling the truth, probably because if you were there with that people, you saw the same thing with that people saw. So you connect more with that than more with other people who are telling another thing. So point of views is just like this. Why I'm telling you this, why I perceive this, because I saw the three of them happening, because I was outside of the island. I was watching everything happen, and I saw the asteroids, I saw the earthquake, I saw the big waves. I saw everything happening. I saw the continent sank, so sank. I forgot. I saw it. I'm laughing, but it was very, very sad, and it was very horrible, and it made a trauma in me that I just could, heal last year. It was a trauma that accompanied for all this life that I live right now. So I just healed from this last year. So it was a lot. I tried to take things a little bit light. I hope you understand that. But you see, the point is to show you there is different point of views. And when we channel, mostly, sometimes we channel our memories, the Akashic records of our own memories. Sometimes you cannot access the Akashic records of everything. So I hope you understood what I wanted to say about point of views. And I'm gonna eat my chocolate here, because this chocolate here has this is not a paid publication. I'm just gonna eat this chocolate here because I love chocolate. It's full of cranberry inside. So if you want to know more about spiritual things, whatever, just follow me here. Bye.